Welcome to the Peace Activation podcast, a space for real talk on healing, leadership, and conscious change. I'm Eva Dak, founder of Peace Activation and your host. Each episode brings you insights and tools to help you live and lead from a place of inner peace. We explore how healing ourselves can transform how we lead, love, and live, and ripple that peace outward. Tune in, reflect, activate. Welcome everyone to the Peace Activation podcast. I'm honored today to welcome Nada and Raimi. You came back with more questions, and so we decided to record another episode where you can ask me more questions. So welcome.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here for the second round so we can know more about your field work for peace activation. I actually want to talk about your expertise, like how do you know this is possible, this is the right way? It's because of your experience in conflict zones. And I don't know if you can give us some examples of like where you've seen warring parties or countries, or you've been in groups where you saw that this middle path is the way, because you had that experience. It's not that you're just coming here and saying this, it's because you've seen this in conflict. Can you give some examples of that where you've seen change or you saw that this is the solution to walk this path?
Yes, and I've seen it in more than 22 conflict zones. I worked for more than 25 years with the UN, with the EU, with different institutions, with non-governmental organizations, with international NGOs. And through this work, throughout these years, I've met so many different communities and people that are supposedly hating each other. And I want to give one specific example. When I went to Iraq in 2015, in the highlight of ISIS, just after another war on nuclear weapon that we had to destroy this nuclear capacity of Iraq and destroy the country, and with outrageous violence against women on all levels. I sat in a space with 60 women, 10 women from each tribe and religion. There was Christian, there was Sunni, Muslim, Yazidi, Armenian, and they were hating each other. They all sat there and you could feel the tension in the room. And they came because the UN paid them to come, because there was going to be, this is the type of peace building that people don't trust anymore, because peace building has become a business. We give money so that people come to our meeting, do our training, and then put them to the side. They don't apply it in their life. Why? Because the attitude shift is not there. Training is not about only knowledge that we impart. It's not about skill for people to learn, but it's also how are you going to be different once you have understood and once you have learned the skill. And very often this attitude shift doesn't take place. But what I saw in that room, the first day, that's where they were, after 4 days with me. And what I worked with them at the time, in 2015, I was already doing peace activation, but I didn't call it that way. I called it a soul-centered peace work. Can we connect to our heart and see the other as me and put ourselves rather than with the identity or the tribe or the religion? Can we come to a place where we are in acceptance of myself and the other? And how can we create a vigil in this community so that we reduce the violence against women and reduce the violence that is happening in this community? And it worked. And it worked in Iraq, in communities I've worked with. It worked in India with community I worked with in Gujarat. And I'm specifically working or mentioning work with women because of the illusion that we have that women will bring peace, and because they are women. And my answer is no, they will bring peace not because they are women. They will bring peace because they're tapped into their feminine. And some women will bring and ignite more war, and some women will ignite peace. Just like some men will ignite war and some men will ignite peace. And so it's not a question of gender, it's not a question of identity, it's not a question of religion, it's a question of human. And I've seen it in so many different places, in Burundi, in Rwanda, in Congo. And these are places that where there's still conflict, but the conflict is not coming from the people. The conflict is coming from institution and from government that are instigating fear in the heart of people. And originally, United Nations was born with this premise that it is in the heart of people that hatred is born, and it is in the heart of people that it will be resolved and dissolved. But what's happening right now is we're not anymore dissolving the hatred in people's heart. We're igniting it, we're fueling it. And so peace activation here in response to ignite peace in the heart of people by heartbroken. You were talking about heart that are broken right now. They are broken because they're expanding and they need to expand to allow the light, just like Rumi said, the light enter in the cracks of the heart that is broken.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. I feel this because even when since October 7th happened and just living in New York, I saw a shift of how many people started being more open with their identity. Like
Mhm.
I think growing up in the US, this is just one example for me, but growing up in the US, I feel like I always had to hide that I was Muslim, even hide that I was Afghan because of all of the stereotype and labels. And I just felt kind of shamed about it. But I was always looking for the women like me, the people like me. What I saw just from October 7th in New York, all of these people that were around my age started saying, I'm Palestinian, I'm Muslim. You want to come to iftar? Or even fashion brands that were, they were like, this is a fashion brand from Egypt. I'm celebrating my culture. I had never seen it before. Musicians were coming out, all these things. So there was this celebration, but I felt like this beauty that was coming from the pain. On the other side,
Mhm.
because I do practice Islam and I am spiritual, I saw that people who were hidden with that side of them were coming out and being open, like I'm fasting, and it's people I never even knew that they were this way. And so there was something that has been broken for light to seep in. So I do see that, and I see that that is kind of in this darkness and in this pain, that is what has emerged. And we are, if it, like, better for it, I think, too.
The opportunity. It's the
Yeah,
opportunity, the danger. It's
yeah,
exactly that.
yeah. That's the light that I've seen and
That's the light.
witnessed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. The
yeah.
good
That's
from.
the
Mhm,
That's like, one of the thing when I in one of the training in Congo, I think 20 years ago,
mhm,
I was giving the same definition of conflict, that conflict is danger and opportunity. And they were very upset with me. They were like, what are you talking about? This conflict is not, it's just danger and people are dying. And who do you think you are? White woman coming here. I'm like, well, white woman, I'm Palestinian and I know what I'm talking about. And let's you know what? Let's just like write down what this conflict, who did it benefit and who earned from this conflict. And if we look at who's earning from conflict, who's benefiting from war, what's the arm trade that's going on, and which companies are behind, that it's all wide open. By the end of the exercise, they came back, the participant came back, and these were like leaders in their community fighting the injustice and human right. And they're like, you know what, you're right. These are the opportunities. And they listed like 20 things that the conflict brought them, including employment by the UN.
yeah.
And that's what we call neo-colonialism.
Mhm.
Like, we're done with colonialism. Everybody is free and independent and sovereign state and have a voice at the UN table. But then who decide the program? Who decide the funding? Who are we developing? What's development aid? And all this business that we made out of development aid. And then we see what's the danger and what's the opportunity, and how can we take this opportunity for our own sovereignty. not
Yeah.
for the sovereignty of someone else over us. So power within, not power over.
Yeah. Thank you, Eva. Is there anything else you would love to leave us with? I think we're
Yeah,
Mhm.
I want to leave you with one more thing because you mentioned peace building.
Mhm.
I teach peace building in different institutions and different university. One of them, the Austrian Peace Center. I came to peace activation, or my understanding of peace activation, because I had a burnout working for the UN in peace building, in peacekeeping mission in 2010. I was burnt out from the way that peace building was practiced on the field. I lost any taste, any desire for living or working because I was just disgusted by what I discovered
Yeah.
in the field. And it is from that burnout that I left the UN and I studied spiritual psychology for 2 years. So I didn't just walk up one day, came out from conflict zone and said, hey, let's get together and start peace within. I went through a deep soul search. And during this master degree in spiritual psychology, in the first weekend, I remember I had just arrived fresh from Ivory Coast, and there was all this American, and I had a lot of judgment. I admit I had a lot of judgment on the first evening because we were exercising, seeing the loving essence and heart-centered listening. I'm like, what what am I doing here? And the only reason I subscribed to that program at the time was because it allowed me to move from a visa of like diplomatic visa for the UN to a student visa. I needed another visa to stay in the US because at the time I had just gotten married with my husband Fabrice, but we haven't had yet the regularization of paper in the US. So I needed some form of studies. And I'm like, oh, I'll choose one that would be the easiest and would won't ask me to engage so much. And because it was a program over a weekend, so I didn't have to go there every day. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect one. And it's spiritual psychology. Who knows what is spiritual psychology? Seems nice, safe. It asked me to work more than I've ever worked. But this time the work was different. It was work on my own issue because after that judgment, after that first weekend, where I exercised seeing the loving essence and heart centered listening, I realized, oh my God, I've never actually listened, even though we're practicing active listening in conflict resolution and peace building. I've never actually stopped judging. I'm constantly judging the situation, the other, what is right, what is wrong, what should be done, how should it be done. I'm constantly in judgment. And when I practiced the compassionate self forgiveness, and I realized that all these judgments were coming from me judging myself, and it had nothing to do with the reality outside. So what I'm bringing here with peace activation, it's not some kind of theory. It's coming from a lived experience. It's my own evolution throughout the conflict resolution and peace building field to spiritual psychology, to trauma, to nervous system regulation, to somatic and yoga and body work and kundalini and all of the different things that I've been doing for most of my life for the past like 30 years. So it is coming from a practical embodied experience, and this is the invitation. And some people can taste it over 7 weeks, which you're going to be leading soon, opening soon at Peace Lab. And some people can dive deeper into it with the 7 month, which you are also part of.
Yeah.
And some people can come and get a taste on an immersion that we'll have in Greece this in May, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful work. Thank you so much, Abe.
Thank you, Neda. Yeah.
Love what we do.
Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling, and for holding space with us. If this episode moved you, please support the Peace Activation podcast by subscribing, sharing it with friends, or posting about it online. Every ripple counts. We'll be back next week with another conversation that dives deep into what it truly means to activate peace within and around us.
To support the vision behind Peace Activation, visit peaceactivation.org and follow along on social media. You'll find both Peace Activation and me, Eva Dak, across all platforms. Find all of these links in the show notes. Until next time, may you meet yourself and others with peace.